And of course, we'll be keeping an eye on your guys' questions throughout the show. Hit that Streamlabs link, hit that super chat if you guys have any questions or comments. We'd love to hear from you guys. But for now, I mean, let's get this train rolling on AMC stuff. So AMC is obviously one of the more prominent movie theaters companies in America. They're here on the West Coast, but they're very, very big on the East Coast. It's kind of, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure it's the main theater chain.
It pretty much
on
is,
the East Coast. We don't have them in Northern California. We only have like one or two. They're in the Bay Area.
About 5.
They're majority
in.
They're definitely more so in the Southern California area. So we don't really get them in Northern. We don't have any in Sacramento. The closest one is about 2+ hours away.
I was going to say the closest one is near where I grew up in.
It's Emeryville, right?
Area. Yeah, it's like Emeryville. San Francisco.
Yeah,
Berkeley, I think maybe.
They came out today with some news that they're going to be transitioning into ticket prices that are based on where your seat is at inside the theater. So tickets that are up close right next to the screen are going to be your lowest tier, and then it kind of moves up from there, and then they have kind of a divide in the center seats. I'll go through the tiers here in a second, but I want to get everyone's just initial reaction to this because this sparked...
Go ahead, sorry.
This sparked a conversation online, obviously, because we fit into a space. Oh my God, we haven't been.
It's been so long.
It's been so long since we've had Sexy Spam.
It's ironic that Chuck comes back in the.
And we get Sexy Spam.
So this kind of lit our Twitter space on fire because we follow so many movie people. That are part of our kind of space, obviously openly talk about this stuff. So just quickly, guys, initial reaction to all of this, the fact that AMC is going to be putting a ticket price on a specific seat in the theater, and it's going to be based on where you are sitting. Jill, why don't you start us off?
Wait, can I actually ask a question before? Because I vaguely got to see this at work. So they didn't say the prices of each seat yet, right? They just said it's like...
they said the tiers. I don't think they have the exact prices available yet. No.
Okay.
They said which seats are where. So, okay, here, I'll do this. Here you go. These price tiers will be offered soon. For example, the highest and preferred tier are in the middle of the theaters and will be priced at a slight premium compared to its standard tier, which the theater chains say will remain the most common choice and will be sold for the traditional cost of a ticket. The third tier is called value, which are seats in the front row of the theater and will cost less than the standard tier. And then it said, Sightline at AMC more closely aligns AMC's seat pricing approach to that of many other entertainment venues, offering experience-based pricing in another way for moviegoers to find value at the movies. So there you go. Take it for what you will. Jill, take it away.
Andy actually said exactly what I was going to say. Seems a little classist to me. Gonna be
100% does.
Gonna put that out there. Like this isn't like an airplane, you know, where you pay more for extra leg room or, you know, for better services. It's literally just a seat in a theater.
Yeah.
And like movie theaters are struggling now as it is. Do they think this is gonna make more people go to the movies? Because this is just making me not want to go to the movies anymore. Because I'm not about to pay $25 because we all know how movie theaters like love to like upcharge everything because like a small popcorn is like $19.95. So we all know that those like premium seats are probably going to be like $10 more.
Yeah,
a seat, something crazy, ridiculous, and stupid. And then there was something else in the chat that I was also going to say from Dino Park Dan. If we're going to charge by seat proximity, then they're going to have to enforce assigned seating. Good luck. Which they're not going to do that. Like, and so you're going to get the people that are going to buy. Like, if it's not a full theater, you bet I'm buying the cheap seats and sitting in the center rows. Like, duh. Like, who am I affecting if no one else is in the theater? I'm not stealing somebody's seat, you know? So if it's stupid. I think it's really dumb. I think it's kind of on the same playing field as the Netflix password sharing bullshit that's going around right now.
It 100%.
Like, companies are just making these really dumb like just talking out of their wallet decisions, and they're not looking at the actual market. Because like I said, who in their right mind is going, oh, movie theaters are failing, let's raise the ticket prices and make the seatings, the prices based on what seat you get, because that's going to make people flock to the theater. Like, it's stupid. It's dumb. I think it's ridiculous.
No, I mean, I agree. I think obviously they're trying to do this to get more people to the movie theater because theaters have been struggling for a little bit. COVID, I don't think theaters have ever really recovered since COVID. And it's in the complete opposite direction. Just like Netflix's password sharing is going to cut their subscribers probably in half. This is going to cut AMC audiences in half because they're going to try to go find a theater chain that isn't doing this.
Yeah, I'm not going to. I'm going to not go to AMC strictly because of this.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
I will go somewhere else.
It's very unfortunate, and like, you know, it just, not only do you now have to worry about finding the right seat and getting an assigned seat, because that's what most theaters are these days, but now you have to worry about what the ticket prices are. Like, let's say, so here's an example. I wanted to bring this up, and this is from Adam Lavick, who was very open about this on Twitter today, but this is what this looks like. Those two seats are different prices on the left.
That's ridiculous, because that's the same viewing.
So that is, the gold seats are the premium, the high priced ones, and the seat right to the left of it is a different tier in the same exact row. That's what this looks like. And it's absolutely absurd that seats in the same row aren't going to be the same price because they're technically not in the center. And here's the problem with this. There are a lot of people out there who would prefer an aisle seat to a middle row seat. And there's a lot of people who would prefer the opposite. And so now it's all based on, like, let's say, for example, let's just say hypothetically that the aisle seats were more expensive than the middle seats, which obviously isn't going to be a thing. Those people who like aisle seats, who usually get seats because they're available, now have to pay more because they're priced differently. It doesn't make any sense.
No.
It makes absolutely no sense as to why this would attract people to the theater rather than push them away.
Let's just add it to the ever-growing list of businesses making dumb decisions. We got Hasbro, we got AMC, we got Netflix.
It feels like they're all
next?
It feels like they're all being decided by the same person. Like, these decisions sound and feel like they're coming from the same person. It is so stupid.
Stupid. They're not looking at the consumer. They're just thinking with their pocketbooks. It's stupid. It's dumb. It's not going to help anything.
I agree. Brian, can I bring up a super chat before you get your thoughts out there?
Go ahead.
Tim Sim, thank you so much for this. This news from AMC is certainly making going to midnight premieres, early previews of pop culture blockbusters to avoid being spoiled from the get-go more expensive, if not now, then much later. There's going to be a lot of effects to this. Thank you, Tim, for that. Appreciate that, as always, my man. Yeah, it's... I don't know, man.
Go ahead.
I understand, like, specific screens. So, like, Cinemark, we have Cinemark here in Northern California. That's the prominent theater chain. They have, you know, what's called their XD, which is their big screen, big sound, big theater. Then they have the 3D. Then they have the smaller screens. I get pricing those differently. Like, that makes sense. If you want to price a 3D movie differently because it does cost a little bit more to make, totally understandable. If you want to price a movie that's in a bigger theater, totally understandable, just like IMAX. But think about it, like, so an XD ticket costs about $20. Now you have to worry about where you sit in that XD theater. That ticket can now be close to $30 if you want to sit in the premium seating. Like, who's going to spend $30 to go to a movie on top of concessions? Think about families of four people, two parents, two kids. That's probably close to $100 in tickets, and then you want them to buy concessions? They're not going to do that.
No.
They're not going to go see movies.
No.
Sorry, Brian, go ahead.
This is the dumbest thing I have ever heard of. This is so stupid. This is almost as dumb as the Netflix password thing. It's so... I don't even know, like... I feel like this was one of those things like, all right, guys, let's put a bunch of ideas on the wall and throw a dart, and whatever land on, that's what we'll try. That's literally, it's so dumb. My thing is, hi, Queen. And
For audio listeners, Brian is talking to Abby, and she says, "Pop off, Brian."
Pop off.
yeah, I like. This is gonna. Why would I want to deal with this? Like, what if I go in a group? If I go in a group of like 10, so for example, Jake and all of us, every Marvel or DC movie or even like big movie, we go in a group. There's usually anywhere between what 4 and 10 of us. So Avengers Endgame
anywhere from like
people.
6 to 16 or something. Yeah.
Yeah. When we went to Endgame, it was like 20. I think it was 25 people. I had to go and pick up, and this thing was like this long.
And now those would all be priced differently because we sit in one row.
That's my thing. If we all went together,
So stupid.
we now have to figure out who wants to pay more. And if someone doesn't want to pay more, and those are the only seats, depending on how expensive it is, are they just not going to go? This is just stupid. This is dumb. And someone said exactly one of the very first things that I thought of when I saw this at work. Where did it go? This.
Accessibility.
You are trapping people. Okay. What if someone in a wheelchair...
Brian, can you read the comment, please?
Oh, God, sorry, I forgot. Donald Park Dan said, this also brings up an issue with accessibility seating, methinks.
Yeah. Definitely.
The wheelchairs, okay? Are we going to price them up because they're in the middle? In generally, wheelchair accessibility is in a decent spot.
They're usually the first row of the second section is what they are. Yeah.
So are we going to just basically be like, hey, sorry you're in a wheelchair, but you've got really good seating, so we're going to price you up?
Well, and then in the same main like mindset of that too is that those premium seats, because they're more expensive, they're not going to sell first. Those are going to sell last. So for people who need an aisle seat, whether it's for like a medical emergencies, or maybe they like suffer some severe claustrophobia, or they have a service dog that needs to lay down and like have more space because of the aisle, something like that, those seats are going to be gone, and they're going to be stuck sitting in a center seat or not going to a movie theater at all. So it's that stuff that clearly is not being thought of, or even worse, was thought of, and they just go meh, whatever.
It's so unbelievable to think that there's someone in the creative room of AMC who walks into a weekly product meeting. And it's funny that I'm talking like this because this is what I now do for my job. This is like stuff that I now do for the job that I'm currently working for. Someone walked into this room and they're throwing around ideas. Okay, like, all right, like let's just say Greg. What is something that you came up with? And this dude pitches an idea of
who's Greg?
What?
It's a metaphorical.
It's
fuck Greg.
Greg, what did you come up with this week? Like, what is something that you've been thinking about? And he goes, what if we priced the seatings differently? And this moron who is leading the meeting goes, you just got promoted like 2 jobs. That's the greatest idea I've ever heard in my life.
Dumb.
And they effing go through with an idea of making anywhere from $15 to $30 essentially is probably what I'm looking at. I mean, it's unreal to think
for
that
not even IMAX, $30 or something. Like it's gonna be. I mean, maybe even if it's $5 more for a lot of movie theaters right now, $15 is cheap.
Yeah,
we're looking at some places where like $18, $19.
Well,
is like the standard. So now it's gonna be looking at like 25. And
there's also this.
I'd rather get a cocktail.
D-Train brings this up, and he says, "I'm an A-list member, and I'm wondering how that affects the A-list members. That wasn't talked about."
You're going to see like there's
going to be a discount for him.
Well, it's going to be like your normal price, but then maybe like probably like if it's a $10 extra, it'll be like, ooh, it's only $5 extra now.
I don't get the idea of like them thinking this is going to attract people
No, it's
because
not.
they're not the only
Did
theater
they think
chain
people
in
were
the
gonna go like,
country.
"Yay, prices are different
And
for
it's
different
it's so
people"?
funny. Like over the years, I have heard such good things about AMC and like how well like how great their theaters are and the sound and their convenience, their membership, which all these theater chains started coming out with memberships like 5-6 years ago, and the A-list membership was always considered the best. And now they make a decision like this, and it really makes me think to myself, wow, I'm really happy that I don't have AMC in my area. I am really happy that I have Cinemark and I don't have to worry about this. It's just it's pretty unbelievable to think that we're now getting to a point where we're going to be pricing seats differently. And going back to that chart I showed, it's not even by row. It's just where they want to highlight it. It's just where they want to put the highlights, essentially.
Yeah, if we start concert seating movie theaters, that's a problem because
Like concerts, I can understand. It's a live performance, like I get, pricing it. It's gonna be if Patrick Stump is spitting in my face as he's singing to me, yeah, you're gonna be paying extra for that. But like a movie theater where you're seeing like whether you're close or far, it doesn't really make a difference of what you're seeing on the screen.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if that is the future of movies is concert seating, that's terrifies me because look at Beyonce's concert that she just started.
God.
I was watching a TikTok. Chick wants $2,000 for like not even great seats. They're decent. $2,000.
Bless Fall Out
I don't
Boy
care.
for keeping
That's
their tickets
insane.
cheap.
I mean, even Taylor Swift tried to keep her tickets down, and that still was expensive. So you're gonna start getting. You could potentially see for an event movie, Avengers Endgame, let's say, level where everyone is trying to get it. I would not be surprised if you saw people trying to scalp tickets now.
I don't know if it would be at that limit.
If it's a big enough movie.
Well, yeah.
If it was Avengers
people still also have the
Endgame.
option of going to a different theater. I mean, depending on where they live, though.
Depends on how desperate people are to see it. If it is something
yeah.
I mean, Jake, I don't know about you, but I've never seen anything like when Avengers Endgame went down.
No, I agree. I don't know if there's enough people looking to scalp movie tickets like there is concerts.
Movie
concerts
tickets
are very different.
Because movie tickets, you can drive to another movie theater.
Yeah, but there's definitely a section of people that do that. But unlike a concert's a one-night thing. Movies you can literally go to every day for however many times. So like I do hear you in that aspect. I did want to bring up a couple comments right here before we kind of wrap up. This one's from Tim Sim. Thank you, Tim, for the super chat. As streaming becomes now more popular with this news, I wonder how many will invest in home theater setups if they can afford it to get the same theater experience without being ripped off. I mean, as someone who has wanted a home theater for 30 years, I don't think that'll change. And I don't think the movie theater experience can ever be replicated personally, but people will do what they can. I think streaming, the rise of streaming has already kind of, that's why we're talking about theaters struggling. The rise of streaming, Apple Plus, HBO, Disney Plus, Netflix, Paramount
and I mean, now you can essentially buy a movie like 2 weeks after it comes out and watch it from home. Like I would much rather do that. I'd rather fork over the $15 so that me and my partner can both watch it from the comfort of my own home instead of spending freaking $50 for the two of us to go to the movie theater. Like, no, I'm not doing that. Sorry. Like,
next comment I wanted to bring up here, the conversation we really haven't had. This one's from Billy. AMC will change this like Netflix and the password stuff. Such negative press will pressure them into changing it back.
That's what happened to Hasbro and D&D.
I have no doubt that this will happen. I haven't seen a single person online, and granted, it's a very small space for what I follow. Not a single person is for this. Nobody.
No, who would be?
I saw
Yeah.
one person. I forget
Really?
who it was. I don't want to say their name and be
No,
wrong.
don't publicly out anybody. No.
Shame them.
But
Shame them.
I think they're in this chat.
If you're in
know,
this
it's
chat,
just-
speak up and explain your reasoning so we can hear someone on the
Um,
hashtag bullying corporations works.
It does.
It does.
Mike,
Look at
thank you,
Hasbro and
Mike.
D&D. They went,
Thank
oh
you,
god,
Mike.
sorry, we effed up.
And then next one here comes from Callum. Do you guys think drive-ins could do well with this news? 100%,
Yeah.
Callum.
I
I
love
honestly
it.
think over the last 5 years, drive-ins have kind of been starting to make a little bit of a
If I had the
reappearance.
choice between a movie theater and a drive-in, 9.9 out of 10 times I'm going to a drive-in.
Depends on the movie, but yes.
Oh, I don't even care what the movie is.
Yeah, it definitely depends on the movie. For me, anyway. For me.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the drive-in. Gabby and I, when we were first dating for the first 3 or 4 years when we were in Sacramento,
You don't have
Gra-
it by us.
the drive-in wasn't in the greatest area, but we have a drive-in in Sacramento, and it's such a cool experience to be able to go there, hang out. I mean, I had the Jeep back then, so we'd put some pillows and blankets in the back and open the top
Yeah.
off, and
Mhm.
Get
or
some
we would-
drinks.
or
You
we-
like
I
bring
would-
your own food and your own snacks.
yeah,
and
we'd
just
bring
chill.
we would go get ramen before
You
the
could go
movie or whatever.
Yummy,
Like,
just be all comfy cozy.
Well,
and
and it was cool for
You
us
brought
too,
your
'cause
dog a couple
we would
times.
we brought
Yeah.
Kylo. We would take Kylo with us, and
we need a drive-in.
drive-ins are such a cool experience. And if you have never been able to go to a drive-in, if you ever have the chance, I highly recommend it. And I think I would love to see a resurgence of drive-ins. I think it would be really, really great to see drive-ins kind of make a return. If you have the chance, go to a drive-in. It's very fun.
Right.